everyone. My name is Sandra, and I'm responsible for the business development at Leverage Shares. Thank you very much for joining my webinar today. The topic is how to utilize Leverage Shares ETPs. So let's directly delve into it. A short outline of today's webinar is first I'll be presenting you what an ETP is and how it differs from exchange-traded funds, exchange-traded notes, and exchange-traded commodities. I'll be also presenting you Leverage Shares ETPs. After that, we will go much more into detail about the structure and mechanics of Leverage Shares ETPs, their suitability, of course. I'll be giving you a few examples so you can see the ETPs in action and also compare them to traditional assets like stocks or ETFs. Then I'll be presenting you a few of the trading strategies, also what's the best way to monitor your portfolio. And at the end, we'll come together at the conclusion. And of course, at the end, you can also ask all of your questions and I'll be there to answer them. So let's directly start with Leverage Shares ETPs. A short introduction of the company. We are the pioneer in the field and are enabling both institutional and retail investors to execute tactical trades based on their conviction and knowledge. Our products aim to deliver 2 times, 3 times, or even 5 times the daily performance of individual listed stocks. Meanwhile, we also have sector-themed products and a bright range of ETPs you can choose from. Few of the characteristics of our products is that they are physically backed, so there's absolutely no credit risk. We work closely with independent market makers, so we can guarantee liquidity for our traders. And since we have different listings on different stock exchanges, and not only that, but we want to empower our investors to fit our products, to fit Leverage Shares ETPs according to their strategy. We offer the ETPs also in different currencies. We're transparent regarding the fees and costs. You can find them in the respective key information document of each and every product. And a very important thing for each investor trading with leverage is that in our case, the losses are kept to initial investment, meaning as an investor, you cannot lose more than your original investment, since you don't also need to trade with margin or open a margin account. Leverage Shares ETPs are listed across London Stock Exchange, Euronext, Borsa Italiana, and also in Germany on Xetra. So we are already started presenting Leverage Shares ETPs and their characteristics, but I want to take a step back and shortly explain what exactly we mean saying ETPs. We all know that exchange-traded products is normally the main thing, including exchange-traded funds, the ETFs we all know, exchange-traded commodities, and exchange-traded notes, with few differences, which we already set to the slide before, to the main characteristics. Leverage Shares ETPs are mostly close to ETNs, but as I said, there are a few differences. So we decided to name our products ETPs. And the aim of an ETP is to replicate a specific index or underlying asset as accurately as possible and achieve comparable performance. Leverage Shares ETPs, leveraged ETPs. Most of our ETPs are with leverage, so they track the underlying and give you a leveraged performance, over proportional performance, depending on the leverage factor. Shortly to the mechanics and the structure of our ETPs, they have an airbag mechanism. We had before a whole webinar dedicated to the airbag mechanism in our ETPs. I just want to present it shortly to freshen up the information. The airbag mechanism is a safety mechanism built into the daily leverage certificates, and it is intended to reduce the negative impact of an extreme movement in the underlying asset during the day when the direction of the underlying asset goes against investors. As we know, trading with leverage doesn't come without a risk, and capturing the trend could prove lucrative, but misestimating the move could magnify losses as well. And if we have an underlying which is falling very quickly, we have this built-in airbag mechanism which will stop the ETP from trading for about 10-15 minutes and then restart it again. There are different stress scenarios at which the airbag mechanism will be activated, which I'll be showing you on the next slide. Here we have two different scenarios, as you can see. And depending on the leverage factor, there is also the stress scenario, the percentage falling, according to which the airbag mechanism will be activated. In this case, I gave the example with 2x, 3x, and minus 1x leverage. Going forward to one very important characteristic and also structure of our ETPs is that they are daily rebalanced. The daily rebalancing of the ETP is a necessary function to consistently offer the leverage and inverse positions promised to the holder of these products. However, this also brings into effect a daily compounding, daily compounding effect that can be confound to some investors. I want to clarify and dig a bit deeper into it. One very important thing to know when trading leverage shares ETPs is that they show their best performance when trading within a day, when catching short movements of the underlying, aiming for a magnified exposure. And in this case, they show their best performance, which we will be seeing later in the examples as well, within a day. When holding the leveraged ETP for longer, the compounding effect comes into the game, and the performance doesn't match the expectations. That's why we're very clear also about our recommended holding period, which is for the leveraged ETPs 1 day. Later in the examples, I can show you with the chart movements, the exact situation, so you can visualize it much better. Before going to the examples, I would also like to talk a bit more about the suitability, because a lot of people still consider leveraged products an unknown territory or risky territory, which they are, but with the right knowledge and information, they can be an effective tool. And also used for portfolio diversification, meaning if we picture a standard portfolio which has which has a bigger part of ETFs investment. Some percentage of the portfolio is in commodities. We have maybe some percentage in crypto, and having a percentage of the portfolio dedicated to leverage products, especially for day traders, can magnify the performance, can magnify the returns very short term. Otherwise, short and long and short ETPs are very suitable for catching uptrends or downtrends. When we have a continuous uptrend of an underlying of a stock or an ETF or an index, a leveraged long ETP like 3x or 5x might be best suitable. And also for the other direction, when the stock is falling for a continuous downtrend, a short ETP is perfectly suitable. So you have the opportunity to trade in both directions, which is very nice actually. Besides that, you can also use both short and long ETPs to hedge existing exposures. So for hedging purposes, they're also great. Another two things are reacting to overnight movements in foreign markets and positioning or responding to earnings and news announcements. All of us which are engaged in the finance field and financial markets follow earnings results very closely. And as you know, earnings results can move a certain stock or an asset very quickly. So in this kind of situations, it's great to use a leverage product or a short ETP if we expect that the earnings results might not be that good. So let's see now the ETPs in action. I have prepared a few examples. The first one is Apple. And as you can see on the chart, we have in orange the 3x long Apple ETP from Leverage Shares. And according to that, in blue, the Apple underlying stock. As you can see from the chart, the performance from the 3x long Apple ETP, according to the underlying, is very magnified, especially if you notice the period around April to July 2023, where the underlying goes several percentages up, and you have this multiplied, magnified by 3 times with the Apple ETP from Leverage Shares. For this kind of movements, which are going, as I said, uptrends in a short period of time, you can use the 3x long ETP perfectly. It's perfectly suitable. Also, if we go a bit back in time, around the end of 2022, there we can also see a huge performance of the 3x long ETP. As I said, planning your portfolio, staying up to date with news, with earnings, with new launches, if it's the new iPhone, and tracking those news and utilizing the ETP in the right moment can give you a really good performance. Going forward to the next example, which is NVIDIA, which is lately, I think as you all followed, very, very popular and also reported huge earnings results, which you can see also here in the chart. Again, in blue, we have NVIDIA as the underlying and 3x long NVIDIA ETP, especially when you see at the end of the chart 2024, in the beginning of 2024, and especially now, mid and February, as the results came out, we have a significant jump in NVIDIA stock, and according to that, a multiplied 3x on NVIDIA ETP performance. So once again, example how to use news such as earnings to trade the ETPs. And I want to give you also one more example with Facebook, with Meta. Here we can see during 2021 to 2022, a typical leveraged ETP performance. The underlying of Meta goes up. Accordingly, the leveraged ETP performs in a magnified way. But later, when you look at the chart from 2022 to actually almost end of 2023, I wouldn't say beginning of 2024 because it's going up again, but until end of 2023, we don't have an exact uptrend. We don't have an exact downtrend. I would say a more steady or a bit volatile market. And I chose this example to show you that holding an ETP for a longer period of time, not only for day trading or catching news and, as I said, earnings results or different launches, can give you actually an underperformance compared to the underlying, which you can see here on the chart. So it's really important when you use leveraged ETPs to monitor your portfolio continuously, closely, and to be informed how to trade them, when to trade them, and of course, when is the best time to buy and sell, because holding the ETP over a longer period of time can actually give you less good performance than the underlying itself. Just, yeah. And one last example with QQQ. Here I chose 5x leverage, which is our highest leverage ETP. And of course, you can see here that the performance, it's much, much bigger. Of course, trading with a leverage, which is 5 magnified by 5, it's also much riskier if the underlying goes in the not planned direction as intentionally we had when investing in the ETP. Of course, in these cases, we have the airbag mechanism, but still it's it's a risk to consider. Of course, the returns are much bigger compared to the 3x leverage. So going forward, after the examples, I would like to discuss with you, present you few trading strategies. One of them is shadow daily returns, positive or negative, hedging existing positions in one simple trade. As I said, let's say, for example, earnings result, we expect NVIDIA to report good earnings result. According to that NVIDIA stock will be jumping in the next day or shortly after the results. But we're not sure about, our intuition, about our strategy. We can always have a bigger position in, for example, 3x long NVIDIA ETP and hedge it with a smaller position in a short ETP. So to say, we are more or less secure, doesn't nonetheless in which direction the NVIDIA underlying will go. Another strategy is to use in a pair trade to take advantage of undervalued assets, short the market, when there's a downtrend. So meaning most of the people who have standard portfolio lose money when the markets are falling. Using short ETPs will allow you to make profits during a downtrend, during falling markets, and also use tactically within a broad portfolio where the investor holds strong short-term convictions. So we talk a lot about portfolio monitoring, so I want to present also a few key points regarding that part. One of them is to keep yourself updated about the latest news about the company and sector you're investing in. If that's Tesla, if it's what Elon Musk recently tweeted and that just moves the stock, or it's NVIDIA coming up with new chips or video cards. Just follow the news regarding the company and sector you're invested in. If you're trading with leverage, monitor your portfolio daily, and of course, decide when is the right time to buy and sell accordingly. One good thing also to do is to plan your trades and trading strategies beforehand. Also to be prepared to act quickly. Nowadays, having our trading apps on our phones allows us to do that, so that shouldn't be an issue at all. And to be informed and aware of risks and costs associated with the financial instruments of your choice. Inform yourself beforehand, what are the fees, what are the costs, especially with Leverage Shares ETPs, you can quickly check that in the key information documents or in the fact sheets. So that's something just to be informed and aware beforehand, so you know what to expect. Regarding keeping yourself updated, from our site on Leverage Shares official website, we have a whole section dedicated to market insights, and our research analysts are providing a lot of useful information to current events, if that's NVIDIA earnings or what's happening with Coinbase, or what's the outlook on the market for the upcoming quarter. You can find almost every second day new article and new information which you can follow. Also, if you want to go more into depth, we provide also information in technical analysis, which provide you with more indicators about the certain stock, about a certain asset, and give you a bit more technical outlook. So that's for me. And if you have any questions, I'll be here a few minutes, so you can ask them in the chat. And from my side, I thank you very, very much for the attention. Check our website regularly, check our socials. We have a lot of engaging content, and also a lot of upcoming webinars. Just a second, I think we have a question. Just 1 second to check. Yeah, so the question is, what percentage of these types of ETPs, 1x, 3x, 5x, do you recommend to add in a 60-40 income portfolio? Yeah, so normally we had this before, thank you for the question very much, Francisco, is that maybe 10 to 20% of the portfolio would be smart. And this is also very depending on how risk-friendly you are. But for starters, if you don't trade often with leverage, I would say 10%. And then with experience and adjustment, you can see how it's going for you, and decide if you want to dedicate a bigger percentage of your portfolio to leverage products. So I hope that answered your question, and I think that's it for now. If something comes up, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn or per email. And yeah, thank you very much once again for all of your attention.